I've obviously looked at the course profiles, and it's going to make a big difference this time. The course again, a lot of stuff about planning and looking at courses and the rest of it. It's I think and a lot of my training sort of pre the Europeans has been a lot to do with the strength training, and that's to do with the course, particularly the bike course. At the Europeans it's 6k climb. You only do it once on the sprint but twice on the standard. I think the maximum gradient on that climb is about 16%. It's going to be a tough old course. I'm going to need a lot of strength, and especially when it's going to be 30 odd degrees. So yeah, so a lot of the hill work that I've been doing on the bike hopefully will stand me in good stead to tackle that. So I think I think it's a 20k loop, so I think there's a 5k out, 6k up, 6k down, and then 5k back to the transition area. So that's one of the for the sprint loop, and then you've got to do it twice on the standard. Run course is flat, so run course is down on the river. I think it's pretty similar, 5k for the sprint, and then for the 10k for the standard it's just double the course. So again, the only sort of thing that may be an issue is that there's only sprints on the Saturday and the standards on the Sunday. So I'm going to have to recover very quickly. I haven't got a day to recover this time. The strength and conditioning, my fitness should see me to be able to do both. Focus sprint, I've made no bones about it this time. I want to podium on the sprint. I do feel at the moment that's my strongest event out of the two, and yeah, no, I'm all out. If I've got nothing left in my legs for the standard, I'll just enjoy it. You know, if you can enjoy 2 6k climbs back to back. People are starting talking about it, but I'd already decided to go on my road bike for both and not take the TT bike, especially when, you know, they're talking 14-16%, you know, sort of a lot of the climb. I think most people, by the looks of it, are saying the same sort of thing, that they're going to take the road bike out to do the standard. Obviously my road bike's already out there for the sprint, so again, it's all about course management. You know, it's how quickly out in Bilbao 10 days prior to the race, so I'll be able to go up and down the climb quite a few times before the race, so I'll have a better idea then, you know, how hard or maybe not hard I can hit the climb, depending on the recce's that I do. So yeah, I think it's going to be a very big focus on, because the runs are so flat, and I'm not saying easy because they're going to be fast, but it's going to be all down to who handles the hills best on the day. I'm going to altitude again, so I'm going to altitude 14th of August for 3 weeks, come back on the 4th of September, and then the race is the 17th and 18th of September, so I'm back for 2 weeks before. Similar sort of thing that I was in Romania, come back 2 weeks before. A little bit different this time with the altitude. I'm going to an actual altitude hotel, Sincrofera, which is in Denia in Spain. So a lot of the pro Tour de France cyclists were there this year. It's actually owned by an ex-pro Tour de France rider, a Russian guy.
Really fast.
So I'll be really fast after I come away. And he actually was banned for drugs as well, so, but I won't be taking any drugs. I can't remember his name, is Alexander something. But yeah, no, it's owned by a Russian ex-pro bike rider. Basically, you have a hypoxic rooms. So they set I think, from what I've read, you have a test to see what altitude you can go up to, and then they do that test every day, so they increase the altitude in your room each day. So I know from in Switzerland that I can go up to about 1900 meters without a problem, so maybe that'll be the starting bit for me, but they'll put it up every day. Basically you're sleeping high but training low, so you can put the hard efforts in during the day, but they actually bring you breakfast in the room, so you actually maximise the amount of time that you spend in the room. They also have got turbo trainers that you can actually do workouts in the room at altitude, so if you wanted to do a workout at altitude, you can actually do them in your room. They've also got a hypoxic gym in the hypoxic room downstairs, so again, if you wanted to run in altitude, you can actually run within the hypoxic room. I'm going there by myself, so it's going to be a bit lonely, I suppose, but I think I'm in a position where I can afford to do it, and I can go, so I'm going to go, give it a go, see what happens. I think most people know when you go on training camps, you're totally focused on training, so it'll be early sleep, early to bed, up early in the morning, 2 or 3 hours training, back for sleep, and then, you know, go again the next day. And I think that's going to be the biggest benefit of going there. It's going to be able to have a focused 3-week training, and I think that'll give me if the altitude is a benefit, that's great, but I think the actual just training 3 weeks by yourself, totally focused, will have the biggest benefit.